Welcome to the Mystery Mouse podcast. My name is Holly and I'm coming to you from Colorado, where I live with my husband and our 5 kids and our many pets. And today is Monday, January 29th, and I think this is episode 32. So I have a lot of knitting to share with you today, some book stuff and some shop news, some yarn acquisitions. I think that's it. Maybe some future plans. But I just have a lot of things I've been working on. First of all, I have a finished object that I forgot to share with you last time, which was ridiculous because my episode before that, it was like the whole point of the episode. Well, not really, but... And that is my Mittens. This is the one with the jog line. So I wear that one on my left hand so that it's on the palm. But really, I mean, in real life, you can hardly see it. And then I have this one. So yes, I have officially broken the mitten curse. I have 2 mittens that are finished and I wear them all the time when it's really cold and I'm walking Watson or I have to go somewhere in the car. And before I was like, man, I wish I'd knit some mittens. Which I have knit several pairs of fingerless mitts. And those are really nice too, but they're all getting kind of old. Like I've had them for a long time. So I'm so happy to have finished those. And these are made from a mini skein set from Chicken Lady Fiber Arts. I think it was her May set, which was Hawthorn Berry and Lily of the Valley, I think. And I had to get it because it was red and green. And I love it. And I still have some scraps left. This is DK weight yarn, and I used a pattern that I bought on Etsy, which I can link below. It was for convertible mitts, like texting mitts. I had a convertible thumb, and I made those for my mother-in-law for Christmas, and I just used the numbers to make these. They're a little bit big, I think, on the finger part, but they're very, very cozy and warm, and I love them. So, I hope that I want to make more mittens, but it's starting, even though it's January and there's plenty of winter left, you can start to feel like, oh, what's the point of knitting this like winter stuff? Because it's going to be warm soon. And it's not true. It's just, it's warm today. Like I went out without a jacket today, but anyway, I'm so glad I broke the mitten curse. That is done. Now I have a lot of whips. So first of all, I'm participating in the Make 9 challenge, which is put on by Amy of Noble Character Crafts. And I put a lot of whips on there. Not a lot of whips, but I put on there several sweaters that I have already started and I really want to get them done. So the first one, and I decided to pick this one up first because it is the closest to being done. And this sweater is kind of a beast. This is the Everywhere sweater by Knitty McPurly. And I had finished the body and an entire sleeve. And so I had picked up the other sleeve, but I wasn't sure if I had gotten the right number. So I just like put it down. It was like that checking to see if I had the right number was too much. So anyway, there's kind of a tale of woe with this sleeve. Well, it's not too bad, but it was annoying. So what happened, I checked the number of stitches for the sleeve. I had the correct number picked up, or like one off or something. So I picked it up. And then I looked at the pattern like really fast. And I was like, okay, I don't need to decrease for a while. I just need to go. So I'm just going to get back into the stitch pattern because it's a rib. It's a twisted rib. I'm just going to go. So I did. And then when I got to that number, I looked at the pattern again. And I had not chosen the decrease thing for my size. And I was supposed to decrease way back here. I was like, no. I don't want to rip out this twisted rib. It's a sleeve. I hate sleeves so much. So much. So I was very upset. And then I tried it on. And I was like, it doesn't really look that different from the other sleeve. I mean, I could try it on for you and show you. And, all right, hold on, I'll try it on. This sweater is knit with a strand of bulky and a strand of mohair. So here's the correct sleeve. So you can see it looks nice. Here is the incorrect sleeve. So it's a little hangy downy. Of course, the needles are in over here. But I have started decreasing. But I don't think I'm gonna go back. Now, when I'm completely done with this sleeve, if it is weird and like I can always tell, maybe I'll do something, but here, I'll show you. Here's my sweater. Oh, do you like my t-shirt? I got this for Christmas from my wonderful husband. My favorite Poirot. Okay, but anyway, so, and you can see I still have to do the pockets here. But I'm not gonna go back. It probably would be nicer if I had started decreasing where I was supposed to, but I am just gonna go with it because as you can see, I am all the way to my elbow and I'm starting, like I said, I think, I'm decreasing at a slightly faster pace than the pattern says for my size now. So I'm hoping to kind of, you know, hit up the right number of decreases at some point. And, but the thing is, this is rib, so it's very stretchy and it's also very, it like sucks in, you know? So anyway, I want to get this done because this is the kind of thing you have to wear it in the winter. It's very heavy and very warm. It's more like a jacket. But you know, it gets really cold here. I mean, I live in Colorado and you know, when the whole country was in that cold snap a couple weeks ago, it got down to like negative teens. So it was quite cold. And I am knitting this with my hand-dyed yarn. It's just a red that I dyed because I wanted a red sweater. And here is the bulky. And here is the mohair. I think the mohair is slightly darker than the bulky, but I think it looks so nice together. Anyway, and it, you know, I was really wondering, like, will you even really be able to see the mohair with the giant bulky strand? You know, because when you knit like a mohair and a fingering together, they're not that different, you know, as far as, I don't know, their circumference. But it definitely makes a halo. Let's see if you can see this. It definitely makes a fuzzy little halo. And I think it gives it a little shine because of the silk and the silk mohair. So anyway, I want to get that done. I'm just trying to kind of chip away at it. But I have some other works in progress that are taking a little bit of my time and attention. One of which is in this bag by Delightful Works. This is really too big of a bag. It was there, so I was using it. So this is my Murder Knits cowl by Liz Clothier. And I have gotten a little farther. This is in my hand-dyed yarn, which is was for the Whodunit Mal, which is winding up right now. Put on by Two Sisters and Some Yarn. And I'm still really enjoying knitting this pattern. I would like to finish it. I think there's kind of like 3 repeats. There's like an initial repeat, well, of, you know, this cable pattern, and then it's like offset, and then you go back and do the original one again. And so I'm right near the end of the second one, so I just have to go back and do the initial one again. And I'm really enjoying this. I'm hoping it will use up most of my yarn, but if I have some leftovers, I don't really mind. So that is that. And I really enjoy working on this kind of in that magical time late at night where I still have a little bit of brain left, but not too much. So that is that. And then, okay, trying to think. I always feel like, oh, yes, I forgot one, hold on. I am knitting a doggy sweater for our dog, Watson. He is a dachshund. He is, I think, 9 months old or so. He's still a puppy, and he's still growing. But of course, you know, he goes out for walks every day, and then I feel terrible because I'm sure he's cold. But this is a little dog coat. So I think this is the neck. Okay, so this is the neck, and you know, this is the back, and then you sew together the fronts, which look tiny, but they're not. And then you pick up and do some ribbing for the legs. I'm right at the place where I need to start. You do kind of like a curved back. I will put a picture of the pattern. I'll put it on this side this time. I will put a picture of the pattern because I didn't bring it. It's from a magazine. I think it's from a gift, a holiday issue knitting magazine where they have a bunch of gifts for, you know, everybody, including the pets. So, and of course I've been like, well, he's a little dog, but he's extra long because he's a dachshund. So I was like, should I knit it a little longer? I don't know. But anyway, so I just need to finish this. This is knit with 3 colors of Knit Picks Wool of the Andes tweed. So, and I'm not sure what they were. I just had these in my stash, and the pattern is like this. It's stripy with 3 colors, but I didn't want to, I wanted it to be wool so that it was warmer, because I think the pattern was just acrylic. But anyway, so, and it's worsted weight. So I need to finish this. This is one of those projects that's kind of a little boring, and so I'm, you know, avoiding it. But anyway, I need to finish that while he still needs it, because I'm sure we'll have another cold snap before the end of the winter. All right, now the other things that I am knitting are either for book club or a make-along that's coming up. So let me talk about book club first. Our Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club, which I am a part of with Stephanie of Texas Peach Knits and Emily of Woldenburn. We are doing our second round right now, and we're reading the book, The Scarlet Pimpernel. And this is an old favorite from like my high school days, and I don't think I've read it since those old days. So I'm really enjoying reading it again, and we have our first round of discussion questions, which I'm in charge of, on Friday. So I'm really excited about that. We're just kind of taking it. We're supposed to read about 6 chapters a day, or a day. No, we're supposed to read about 6 chapters a week, and which is not too bad. And they're not very long chapters. There's like 31 chapters, I think, something like that. And they're not too long. So this should be an easy book to get through. So I'm reading this. And if you have ordered this, the Scarlet Pimpernel yarn from my shop, and you haven't gotten it yet, and you don't want to be spoiled, just look away. I'm just going to hold it up, okay? So this is our yarn. I have these 2 skeins that I have dyed that are left. I have one on worsted and one on fingering. I'm going to leave this listing open, even though the book club has already got, you can look back if you looked away. I'm going to keep the listing open, so if you are interested, it's a pre-order, but of course, if you order a skein of worsted or a skein of fingering, they're ready to go. So, but I am knitting something with my skein of the Scarlet Pimpernel yarn. So once again, if you don't want to be spoiled, look away. I am knitting the classic French beret by Bad Knitty Knits, and I'll put a picture of it here. It's a free pattern on Ravelry, and I have just started. So I have this little brim, and this is a DK weight pattern, and I took a skein of the fingering and separated it into 2 balls. I just wound it up by hand, which took a while. And I'm just holding a double to get a DK, to get a DK weight. So that is what I'm making. I'm about to be done with the brim. I think I have to do an increase round and then start on some bigger needles. I kind of want to take it off these needles and try it on because I did not swatch. You know, it's a hat, but the thing is, it's not like you just have to get it on your head. It's got to hold on tight so that it's not like goofy looking. So I think maybe I'll just, I don't know. I'm so torn. I don't want to waste time. That's the whole thing. I have so little knitting time. I really want to try to make good decisions. Sometimes it's hard. So, but anyway, and that's in this little bag by Freckled Whimsy that I got in like a swap situation. But, and see, the pattern called for size 2 and 3 needles with DK weight, but it was a DK gauge. It wasn't like an extra small gauge. It was 24 stitches. So I was like, well, my DK gauge is like with a 6. So I'm knitting the brim on 4s, and I'm gonna change to a 6. So I hope it's okay. So I really feel like I should take it off the needle and just put it on my head and make sure that it's not too big. But so that is for our Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club. We're going to be doing another round in the spring, so hopefully you can join in if you are interested in that. And now the next thing is, the next thing is, Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits is running a make-along for her, or a knit-along, for her Wildflower Tea in March. So she, okay, I gotta do this here. So the next thing is, you probably know Cheryl from Wise Owl Knits is running a knit-along for her Wildflower Tea in March. So I and Susan have collaborated with her, and Susan is making some project bags, Susan of Delightful Works, and I am doing some kits for the Wildflower Tea. So I have 3 kits. So first of all, in this bag by, I always have to check, Sassy Sacks by Yaddy, which I got for Christmas from my friend. This is my first kit, and this is the Little House on the Prairie kit, and I'm knitting this one for my daughter Ivy. So I'll put a picture in here of the kit. You can see you get the blue is the main skein, and I love this blue. It's like a dirty denim blue. It's so like vintagey. The blue is Calico, and the cream is Fresh Cream. Butter. Big Woods. Barn Door. And Baking Day. Just have a little tiny bit of this left. So, you will be able to order the kits with different amounts of the main color, depending on how long you, of course, what size you're making and how long you want to do your tea. And it really just depends how you use your colors. So, and I'm really excited to see other people like knit this kit and just make different color choices, putting different colors together. And Cheryl said in her last episode, this is a great pattern for just choosing colors as you go. And I totally agree, because as I just went down, I was like, okay, like I wanted this first flower to be like a little sunflower. So I did the butter for the petals, and I did the Baking Day for the center of the flower. And it's like a little like soft sunflower, and I just love that. So it's just so fun to be like, oh, I haven't used this color in a while, and do that. But then if you're knitting a larger size, then I would recommend just getting like a kit with 100 grams and then maybe another kit with 100 grams or 200 grams of the main color, so that you make sure that you have enough mini skeins. So that is the Little House on the Prairie kit. I started another one in for my daughter Mary, and this is in the Wizard of Oz kit, which I will put here so you can see it all nicely laid out. So, and this is how it's knitting up. Okay, of course, where am I? This is how it's knitting up. This is going to be really hard to show. Now, I think this is knitting up really Scandinavian looking. And I'm knitting the adult size 3 for Mary. And for Ivy's, I was knitting the child size, the 7, I think. And so the babies, kids, and teens pattern comes out on February 1st, along with the kits in my shop and the bags in Susan's shop. They all come out February 1st. So this is the adult version though. And I love how this is knitting up. It's so much fun. These colors are so fun together. So let me show you the colors here. So of course we have Yellow Brick Road for the main color. Poppy Field. I love this red. It's like an orangey red. Perfect for poppies. Emerald City. Oh, I love this. Horse of a Different Color. And this is really a fun color because it's like pinky in some places and bluey in some places. It's really fun to knit with. This is Munchkin Blue. And the last one is Glinda. This is it's getting a little blown out. But it's just a pale pink. And I love the pink and the blue together. And I love the pink and the purple together. And the pink and the red. They look good. Anyway, so I'm having so much fun knitting this. This is the thing about knitting colorwork yoke sweaters. It's all I want to do. It's all I want to do. And so that is the Wizard of Oz kit. And the last kit, which I am going to knit for me during the knit along, is in the bag by Susan. So Susan is doing 3 bags. She's doing them to match the kits. So the main colors for the kits are blue, the Little House on the Prairie, and yellow for the Wizard of Oz. And this one is a mauvey pink. So she is matching the kits to the bag. So you can get a matching bag to go with your kit. So this is the A Little Princess colorway, and I love this one. So while the Little House in the Prairie was kind of Americana and country colors, and the Wizard of Oz is very like bright Technicolor, kind of vintagey, like 1930s colors. This one is very Victorian and sophisticated, and I love it. So here is the main color. I think it's just called Dancing Frock, because in the book they talk about her rose-colored dress in a very important scene. And then we have Old Leather, which is this beautiful dark gold. Sterling Silver. Emily's Chair. What did I call this one? I think it's Velvet. And, okay, and this one, which is a beautiful lilac-y purple, and I can't remember what I called it. I'll find out. I'll put it on the screen. So anyway, this is the kit. I put a picture up here of it, nicely photographed. And, you know, A Little Princess was one of my favorite books growing up. I was telling my girls about it the other day, and I was like, oh, I love that book. I used to read it like every year until you guys were born. And I was like, you mean you read it every year until we came? I was like, well, yeah. So I I read it to my kids a few years ago. I think it was like in 2020. But the girls didn't remember it at all. So, because, I mean, they're 10 and 11, so I guess it was just long enough ago. But so I have been reading that again to them, and they're like, wow, this is such a good story. And I'm like, I know, it's so good. So I'm saving this one for myself for the knit along. So I hope that you will check out those kits, because I'm very excited. This pattern is so fun to knit, and even though it's fingering weight, I think it's going pretty quickly, because that's all you want to knit on. And I'm kind of secretly hoping that I could get all 3 of these sweaters done by Easter, which is at the end of March. So that would be awesome to have these to wear in Easter, the 3 of us. So I hope you'll check that out. Those will all be in my shop February 1st. I don't have a time specific, so just keep your eyes open. February 1st, it's on Thursday this week. So I have just a little bit of book talk. Besides the Scarlet Pimpernel, the only thing that I have been reading is the shoe books. So I think I started in December, and these are a reread for me. Like, this is definitely a comfort read for me. Sometimes you just need something familiar and cozy, and this is that kind of book for me. So I'm currently on Dancing Shoes, and these are the shoe books by Noelle Stretfield. She wrote Ballet Shoes, Theater Shoes, Skating Shoes, Dancing Shoes, and there's a whole bunch, and a lot of them are out of print. I think you can still get Ballet Shoes and maybe Skating Shoes and Theater Shoes, but a lot of them are out of print. And so I have found a lot of them on Thrift Book and just, you know, used booksellers over the years. But they're all kind of, they're a little cookie cuttery, which I don't mind, because once I find something I like, I just want more of that thing, right? So, and I'm sure a lot of you can identify with that, but these are kind of mid-century books about kids training for show business, basically. All kinds of show business. I mean, obviously, ballet shoes, dancing shoes, movie shoes. I mean, it kind of gives it away. But one of my favorites actually is called Family Shoes, and it's got some show business aspects to it, but it's really different because it's just the kids of the family and kind of what happens to them. And then there's one called Traveling Shoes, which I also really like, which is about a boy who is like a violin prodigy, but it kind of centers on his sister, who doesn't really have any talents in, you know, the showbiz world. And they're just great books. I love them. They're British. Of course they're British. And so some of them are like I think Ballet Shoes is pre-World War II, and Theater Shoes is during World War II. And I think she just wrote them as, you know, in the time period she was living in. So I highly recommend these books. If you love those kind of cozy British mid-century books, I love them. So in my last update, I did not mention this last time because it was not an afterthought, but it was like I wasn't sure if I was going to get it done, and then I did. So I dyed up a yarn for Ballet Shoes because I had been reading it, and it's very hard to show. It's blowing out here. Let me turn off the light. This is Ballet Shoes, and it is a very pale pink with blue, and sometimes the blue and the pink get together and make a little purple. Let's see if you can see. So I love these like pale, barely there colors. I think they're fun to knit with because they kind of read as from far away as a solid, and then up close when you're knitting with it, you can see all the colors. So this is Ballet Shoes, and then this is Skating Shoes, and this is more like a minty green, with some pink. And so if you are one of those people like me who just loves these pale, barely there colors, these would be so beautiful for like a baby knit or just like a winter sweater. Can you imagine held with some mohair or something? So I want to make myself things with this yarn, but I don't have time. So maybe someday. But those are in my shop right now. And actually you can get a sweater's quantity of these if you want, because dun, 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 I put up sweater quantity listings. So what I did was I took some of the colors that I have been recently dyeing. I did the 4 Brambly Hedge colors, and I did those 2 colors. And if there is another color that you want that I dye, just please let me know. And so what I did was I put up a listing for 3 skeins, a listing for 4 skeins, a listing for 5 skeins, and a listing for 6 skeins. And then you can pick what base you want. If you need more than 6 skeins, because I did give a little bit of a discount, you know, like as you buy more, there's just a little bit of a discount. It would be cheaper than buying like 5 skeins just that were in the shop in a listing. But if you need more than 6 skeins for your sweater, just message me and I will make a special listing for you, okay? Because I would be happy to do that. But and you get just to pick your base. I have 75-25 fingering, DK, a tweed DK, which is what I dyed all my Brambly Hedge yarns on, and worsted, which is just 100% superwash merino. So those are there for you if you need a sweater's quantity. And because I usually don't dye a sweater's quantity worth of yarn, I usually dye like 4 skeins. Sometimes I dye more than that, but 4 skeins is kind of like it's the amount that I can dye where I can write down the recipe and it's easy to replicate and all of that for me. So anyway, that is in the shop and I hope you will check it out. Thank you so much for all of you who shopped my last update or just since then. Thank you so much. All right, I have a couple of personal yarn acquisitions and then I think I'm done. I always feel like I've forgotten everything. And I made notes. I have not looked at them. Hold on. Let me look at my notes. Actually, I think I've done everything in my notes. Well, so far. So first of all, Chicken Lady Fiber Arts is doing Birds of the Month for this year. And I really tried to resist. Really tried, but I could not. So I got her January color, which is called the Cardinal. And I think the bird is the Northern Cardinal. And she wanted to do the Cardinal with the male Cardinal, who is the red one, and the female one, who is like the brown and black one. So she has some brown in there. I just love this. I got it on her Sarama sock. Sarama? I don't know. But it is her 80-20 fingering weight. You know what I really want to make with this is a hat for me. So I'd kind of like to do a Musselburgh hat. I have never done one, but I'll have to buy the pattern. I do not like buying patterns, but I think I will because I want to use every bit of this yarn. And fingering weight hats are not very practical in my climate. Like if you need a hat, you need a thick hat. So I think I'd kind of like to do the Musselburgh and just be able to, you know, have it doubled or even quadrupled with the brim if I make it long enough. So I am very excited about this. I'm so glad I got it. And then I made a Knit Picks order because I got Ivy and Mary. I think I told you this last time. I got Ivy and Mary some Knit Picks Brava yarn for Christmas, and I made them each a project bag. And they are both knitting sweaters, or actually, Ivy is crocheting a sweater and Mary is knitting a sweater. So next time, if they are here. They're not home right now. Next time they are here, and they would like to show you their progress. So I had to order Ivy some more yarn because her sweater is knit like side to side, and she didn't want to do it in a million colors because I got them kind of a yarn pack that was like, it had like a speckle yarn and a self-striping, like a long form self-striping yarn, and then like 3 different solids. So she kind of picked the 2 she wanted to use. So she's using like the minty, it's like a minty green for the body, and then like a dark teal for the sleeves. And of course, you know, crochet really eats a lot of yarn. So she was running out. So I think she did about half of the front, and then she was running out. So I ordered her 3 more skeins of the mint and 3 more skeins of the dark teal. And she's doing really good. I'm so proud of her too, because we bought the pattern on Etsy. It was a new pattern, like a whole new world for her, following a pattern and having to be really careful, because before she was kind of like making headbands, like, look at this, I made a headband, you know. And she like started it 3 times because her thing kept getting shorter and shorter. It's going like, because she was skipping too many when she turned. She was skipping too many stitches. So she's finally got it. It looks so good. I think her gauge is good. Anyway, so she'll show you that next time. And Mary is knitting like a top down in the round yoke style sweater. We were following the numbers for the flax, but I kept putting off like helping her get her raglans started, because that's really a raglan increase sweater. And so I was like, okay, we'll just like knit 2 and then knit front and back. And I showed her how to do that. And she did that all the way around. And then she knit a few more rows, and I was like, okay, well now knit 3, knit front and back. And so she did that. So she's just kind of increasing as she goes down. And I keep trying to tell her, you have to wait till it gets all the way to here. So it's going to be like 6 inches or 7 inches or whatever before you can split for the sleeves. And she keeps trying it on and being like, is it ready? And it's like, you know, it's this big. So, but she'll get there. She'll get there. She wants to show you too. So next time. But since I was making an order, I had to get this because this is the new static. And this one is called Cabbat Cove. So I had to get it because I love Murder, She Wrote. I love Angela Lansbury, if you can see from my earrings. Anyway, so I had to get this. And so this is kind of cool. It's like a self-patterning yarn. And it's softer than I thought it would be. It just does not look soft in the pictures for some reason. But it's very soft and nice. And it's funny because it just looks stripy. But it's going to be like, you know, there's going to be spots that are like speckly, and there's going to be, it's all uneven and stuff and interesting. So I bought one more. Okay. So I had to get this one too. First of all, I really like the colors of this one, but this one is named Hanley, whatever. This is from The Greatest American Hero. I love that show. It's so 80s. Believe it or not. Okay, I'm not gonna sing this out. Anyway, but I also thought these looked really nice together. And I think I am not gonna make socks. I could make socks, and I'm not gonna cast this on right away. But I'm kind of thinking about doing like a mitered square blanket. Anna Knitter, during Christmas, she knit a cushion cover that was all Christmassy. I think it was opal yarns. So it's self-patterning yarn, and she just did mitered squares like the coziest memory blanket that everybody has done, and I think is a little sick of, to be honest. But since it was self-patterning, the squares all look different. You know what I mean? Like some of them had like a little square in the corner, and then like a different color square, and like some weird stuff. And so it was really cool, and I was like, I wonder if I could do that with this. Now I only have 2 skeins, so that's not enough to make a blanket. But, you know, sock yarn kind of, I think will surprise you how far it goes. So I'd kind of like to, I don't know, maybe I'll get some more, or maybe I will do like, kind of like a Battenberg blanket thing where you you knit the patterned one and then you do a plain one and then you do a patterned one next to that. I don't know. So, but I did not want to let these yarns disappear. I was afraid they would disappear forever because Knit Picks usually, they'll do like a run of things, kind of like they do with their, what's it called? Their, the Felici yarns, which they have now, I think, kind of stopped doing, and they're doing this Felicini, which is like smaller stripes, which is interesting, but whatever. Anyway, I didn't want to let this get away. So I might order. The thing is, the other ones that I liked, I don't think really go with these colors. They had a Ninja Turtle one, which I thought was really cool. And they had a couple that I didn't know what show they were from, because they're supposed to be 80s shows. They have a pastel one that's Saved by the Bell, but I never really watched Saved by the Bell. Anyway, they had a couple other good ones, but I didn't want to spend the money right now. So, but I got these two because I had to get these two. And then the other thing I got was this woodland tweed. I just got one skein of this because I'm going to swatch. Yes, I'm going to swatch because I want to make for my Make 9 the Celtic Swan Show by Cheryl of Wise Owl Knits. And this is a Aran weight tweed. So I wanted to see if this would be a good yarn for that pattern. It's, let's see. Let me see what the fabric is. It says it's a 4, but I don't think in America here we have like a number for Aran weight. Like we just have worsted and bulky. So, but it's kind of like a heavy worsted. It's 80% merino, 15% baby alpaca, 5% viscose, which I assume is the tweed neps. But so this is like a really dark green. And I think it's really pretty. Like a great mustache because I want to do that in a yarn that I really like and that I will wear all the time. And I like how I look in green. I have sort of hazily eyes. So I wear a lot of dark green and red and blue and I don't know, just dark colors like that. Now my nose itches. Anyway, so I'm going to swatch with this and see because I'm going to be spending a lot of time with that yarn. It's a big cable-y thing. I'm a little like, but also excited. And I don't think they used to have colors of this yarn. I think they used to have it as a bear yarn. And I did order a skein of the bear yarn and I made a hat with it, which I lost. But I really liked it. I liked the yarn. So, anyway, so I'm gonna swatch with that and see how that comes out. Or maybe I'll just, I wonder if I could, I think it's a top down. I could just like start knitting it and see. But that would probably be really, really dumb. I don't know. So, okay. I think that's all the knitting. It's all the books. It's all the yarn. The only thing left is any like life update. My only life update is that we're starting co-op tomorrow. And I finished writing my Cinderella play, although I have to like look it over really carefully because I have to give it to them tomorrow and I'm kind of scared. I'm not scared. I am excited. It's just, it's going to be a big play. Like, it's going to be long. There's a lot of lines, but I'm really excited about it. So I'm kind of hoping to be able to maybe write it as like a story, as like a book, and have Teddy illustrate it for me. So maybe later this year we will do that. I think that would be so fun. It's really funny and it's really, they're really silly, but I think the kids will like it. I hope they do anyway. I hope they like it. So we're starting tomorrow on our co-op. I'm helping out in a crochet class. Someone else is teaching a crochet class. So I'm kind of excited about that because, you know, I can crochet, but I'm very like nervous about following crochet patterns. So maybe this will give me a little edge in my skills. That would be fun. But really, there's always a lot going on in my life. My life is a lot of different areas. I teach piano lessons. I homeschool my kids. I'm the choir director for my church. I'm in charge of the food ministry at our church. And my husband has a 3-day conference he's hosting, which I have to make dinner for, but I have help for that. But that's coming up in February. So there's just always a lot going on, but I'm thankful. I was telling one of my friends, and my husband separately the other day, that, I don't even remember the last time I was bored, because I don't have time to be bored. And I'm kind of thankful for that, because I would rather be busy than be bored. And I have to remind myself of that sometimes when I get really busy and it seems like there's no downtime. There's always the end of the day and a little bit of knitting time. As long as I have enough energy to knit at the end of the day, I'm good. But thank you so much for joining me. Please let me know what you're working on. Let me know if you are participating in the Fancy Reading Needlecraft Club, or if you are planning to join in the Wildflower Tea cowl. I would be really interested to hear what you are making and what you are doing right now. And I just thank you so much. I love it when people comment. I answer every comment. I am a small potatoes person still, and I'm so excited when people comment and when people contact me. I really enjoy that, and that is something that I didn't ever think would be the case. Like, I never thought that I would enjoy the social aspect of doing a podcast or having a shop. But it is one of my favorite things, and having met people and stuff like that. So anyway, please comment, say hello, even if you just say, I enjoyed your episode or whatever. I just love hearing from people. So thank you so much, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.